Good evening, good evening, good evening. I am Priscilla Baldwin, and I am the author of Caregiving 101. This book is for individuals that are new to healthcare, new to caregiving, whether you are a professional caregiver or a family member taking care of your loved one or a client. This book is really a guide to help you. I wrote the book in 2023. This book is reflective of when I first started caregiving and when I took care of my dad. Caregiving is something that I think that you're born into it. I think that caregiving is for individuals who have compassion, have empathy for humanity, for others. Sometimes we're put in positions that we have to caregive for someone. And this book really helped a lot of people that gave reviews on the book. It also helps you to understand that when you step into caregiving, it's a different journey. It's a different world from which, that we live our lives. Um, and as I stated, I am Priscilla Baldwin. I am a healthcare practitioner. I am a workshop host. I am a dementia care specialist. And I'm just a caregiver, really, just wanting to help others. Whether you are novice and this is the first time that you've ever cared for anyone, or I think that the caregiving field is a broad field. And even the term caregiving, caretaker. If you are a new mom, you are a caregiver, so the range is very, very wide, you know. It's for new moms, for people that are taking care of their moms, their dads, empty nesters, taking care of the elderly, someone that maybe have dementia, or even someone with a disability or a chronic illness. Your your care is what keeps them going, you know? So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to read one of the chapters in the book. And this book can be purchased at Amazon. And it's going to be available in Ingram Sparks as well in a couple of weeks. So look out for it. What we're going to read tonight is going to be Caregiving 101, And I'm just going to read an excerpt for you. We have heard of caregiver burnout before, but what causes it? There are many factors to caregiver burnout. The number one factor is stress. Stress plays a factor in all phases of life, work, family, relationships. Sometimes a caregiver's mentality is that no one can care for their loved ones like they can. And that's a primary example of myself when I started caregiving for my dad. I didn't think anyone can care for my dad the way that I can, and we have that mentality as caregivers, as family members, that no one can take care of our loved ones like we can. And so we're going to look at sometimes people are put in situations or circumstances where they are accidentally a caregiver, if we can use that, or they're put in the position to be a caregiver. And maybe they don't have the experience to be the caregiver. Maybe they don't have the background to be a caregiver, but they know that the love that they have for their loved ones, you know, with the empathy that they have. And a lot of times people come in caregiving blindsided and thinking that, that this is going to be an easy journey. Caregiving is not an easy journey. It's a process. It's a learning journey. And you will learn along the way, you know, what the ins and outs of caregiving is for your person, for your individual, because it varies depending on what the situation and the circumstances is for your loved one, right? So we have to keep that in mind. The reality check is when we transition into caregiving, you may transition into it because of an illness. You may transition into it for caring for somebody overnight for a couple of weeks, and then it turns to a couple of months. And then when you look around, you're in it for several years. So as the progression goes, you learn, like we all do, you learn the ins and outs of the individual, of the situation that they're in, whether it's a temporary situation or whether it's a lifelong situation, right? So when you're transitioning to be a caregiver, you have to take everything in consideration because as the individual that you're caring for, their life changes. So does yours on this journey of discovery, on this journey of being stretched, on this journey of knowing what your weaknesses and your strengths are, right? And so every day is not going to be Sunday. There's going to be highs and lows, goods and bad. And we have to prepare ourselves for that, you know. And self-care is really what we need to prepare ourselves for. Even if you get up early in the morning and take that time for yourself, time to ground yourself, time for meditation, time for prayer, whatever that looks like for you, because you have to position yourself for the day ahead, for the day that you're in, right? You have to get up a little bit early so that you can get yourself together, get your thoughts together, that quiet time that you can have. If you have the ability to get up and, walk in nature, have that cup of coffee, read those scriptures, do your prayer and your meditations, whatever that looks like for you, right? For me, that getting up early, that helped me to assess myself, assess my mindset for today. Because what you have to realize is this, is that you have to get yourself together. You have to look out for you because when you get up in the morning and you take that time for yourself, you're actually prioritizing yourself and that you're filling your cup up in the morning. So when it's time to care for your individual and things happen during the day, there's a lot of give and take during the day and people need you, right? So we start off in the morning with a full cup. And when I say cup, it's because you refreshed yourself, you refreshed your mind, you put yourself in that space where, you know, you can do anything. At that in the morning, when you take care of yourself, for me, I thought, yeah, I can, I got this. But as the day goes on and we speak to other people, we are giving a part of ourselves. It's a give and take situation where if someone comes and they talk to you about what's going on with them, and you You give out compassion. You give out empathy. You're giving out a part of you. So as your day process and it goes, and there's situations and circumstances that happen, at the end of the day, if you don't have anyone pouring back into you to refresh you, to restore you, you know, even if you have to walk away for a couple of minutes, just to breathe, just to breathe, just to reset, just to rethink, you know, it's this in those quiet times that we do reset, we do renew with our mindset. And if you have individuals that can pour back into you, what a blessing. What a blessing that is, that someone can pour back into you and not allow your cup to be empty. Because when your cup is empty at the end of the day, you have nothing to give at the end of the day. So when someone really comes in and they need that word of encouragement, they need you to, speak life into them. You have nothing to give because you've given out and your cup is empty. So that means that you need to recharge, rethink, reposition, you know, and go to that quiet place at the end of the day when everything, has settled. And you can go to that quiet place and recharge yourself, rethink, even if it's taking a hot shower, even if it's sitting down with a cup of coffee, even if it's you get a chance to journal a little bit, you know. Self-care is very important for caregivers because if not, you will burn out. You have to have self-care and you have to know when to be still and to recharge and to rethink and to renew yourself for the day that's coming. The other things that we need to look at is the myth. This is the myth. Why standard advice often falls flat when real life emotions and logistics demands hits. There is a standard, and sometimes we do fall short. Life is life, and there's different situations and circumstances that we face. If you are a mom and you have kids that are in school and you're taking care of your parents, your aging parents, that's the sandwich generation because you're taking care of your kids and you're also taking care of your parents to a certain degree. So we have to look at that for the people that have children that are in school, because you probably have a full-time job. You're taking your kids to different events and activities. You're probably seeing your parents on the weekend or during the week. So there's a lot that you have to consider, and burnout is very, very, it's very real. And the stresses of life is for all of us. It's the stresses of life. It's your life, it's your work, it's your children, it's your relationships, it's your friendships, so we have to prioritize our time and how we settle into our lives and how we settle into the relationships that we have with our loved ones. The other thing that we want to look at is acknowledging the weight of taking on someone else's well-being while trying to maintain our own. When we take on the role of caregiving, we are taking on the weight of taking care of someone else. That's another individual. That's another set of situations and circumstances that applies to that person. And we take that on because We love that individual. We want to make sure that they're well taken care of, that they're not taken advantage of, that they're going to the doctor's appointments, that they're going to taking their medications, they're going to appointments, whether it's physical therapy, whether it's whatever it is, we're taking that weight on and we're trying to juggle a lot of things in their life, in your life, and we have to sit down with ourselves and realize, okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to take care of them and continue to live with the things that we have going on, right? So we have to prioritize. And if you have a support team or support system in your family, you know, things can be delegated to other individuals and you don't have to be the lone wolf. You're not the one that everything sits with you. So if you have a support team, whether it's your family, whether it's your church group that your father and mother is a part of, that would be very helpful with the support team and the support that you do have, that you can call someone to help you when you need that help, when you need that support, right? I'm just looking on my notes. And we had spoken earlier about the mentality of no one can do or take care of my person, my father, my mother, your loved ones, your son, your daughter. They can't take care of them like I can. And I had the same mentality when I was taking care of my father. Um, I was the only child, and I didn't have sisters and brothers, of course. But my mindset was even if I hired somebody to come in, or even if his nieces or nephews came in to assist me, no one can take care of him the way that I can. And you're probably right. No one can take care of your loved ones to the degree that you do. But we have to delegate things to other individuals so that we don't feel the weight of not delegating. Because if we consume and we just, continue to be the person that everybody comes to, and you have to do A, B, and C, and you continually not get the support that you need, there's going to be resentment because you don't get the help. There's going to be anger because you're not getting the help. But you have to understand that, and I had to understand myself, I had to get out of my own way in order for help to come. But I was blessed that my ex-husband would come and he would help because him and my dad had a great relationship. That he would come and he would say, just, you know, trust me for 30 minutes. And I'm like, really? But I had to relinquish that in order for me to be able to step away at the time, because our children were in middle school and high school, to step away and be able to breathe, you know, because we're so caught up in the to-do list that we're not breathing, that we're not taking the time to breathe. And there is a breath work that you can do, and it's 4 square breathing, where you breathe in, inhale 4 times, hold 4, exhale 4, and then you inhale again. So it's a cycle that you do, but it's called 4 square breathing. And it really helps you because we're so, some of us are anyway, we're task oriented. And as long as we can check the box and get it over with, We forget to breathe because we're doing A, B, C, D, E, and there's no breath in between that because we're going headlong. We're not breathing. And once you learn how to do the four square breathing, that would help you tremendously, you know, even just having that time for yourself. For me, sitting in silence really helps me because it quiets everything for me, you know? Everything's going crazy. Everything's going crazy sometimes. And we just have to remember to breathe, right? Just breathe. The other thing is because we know our individual, because we know the ins and outs, we know their routines, their preference. And sometimes we think that asking for help is a sign of weakness. It's not. Asking for help is letting others know that I need this time. I need help, you know. I don't want to be the Lone Ranger. I don't want to be the always the person that has to figure it out, you know. So asking for help is not a weakness. It's actually showing your strength that you're allowing them and allowing yourself to understand that you need things to be delegated. You need help in different areas. And when you get the help that you need for your loved one, you're making sure that your loved one is in a safe space with people that you trust, that things are going to get done the way that it needs to be done, you know? So that allows you to rest, knowing that that person is safe and that everything is being done to the best of that individual's ability. It may not be done the way that you actually want it to be done, but it's done in a safe environment and it's done so that your individual can be in a safe place with a great environment and atmosphere, because you can always come back later and do it the way that you want it done. But as long as the help is there and they're willing, able body to do what needs to be done, accept the help, accept the help. And that way you can sit down. You can do whatever needs to be done, whether it's a teacher parent conference, whether it's talking on the phone, whether it's going out to lunch with one of your friends. That freeing up that time will also free up your mind, and your mind is not running, racing. I got to do this, I got to do that. You know, you can just, you know, chill for a minute and get your thoughts together. And that's the beauty of delegation. That's the beauty of support. That's the beauty of knowing that that individual is loved, they're seen, and they're valued, right? Under your direction. Also, when we have that mentality that no one can do it like me, we're not trying to be martyrs at all. We're not. We're subconsciously, we're not sacrificing anything. We're not self-sacrificing, you know. We're making sure that our individual is well taken care of. And that even in that point of no one can do it better than me mentality. We are we're not prideful in that, hey, look at me, I'm the only one that can do it. No, if we can delegate and if we can teach and if we can guide the individuals that want to learn how to assist your individual, because it could be a day that that individual is having a bad day. Is there different techniques and routines that you use to help them, to calm them? Do you know the different types of coping skills that your individual uses in order to soothe themselves or to calm them down? That can be taught to other individuals, because the goal here is that everybody be on the same page with the care and the support for your individual. And then there's eliminates some of the stress. Not saying that it's going to eliminate all of the stress, but it's going to eliminate some of the stress if we all are on the same page, if we all know what the coping skills are, if we all know what it takes to soothe your individual, right? So these are just some of the things in Caregiving Burnout for Chapter 1. I hope that you have enjoyed this. And the next book club date is going to be August the 24th at 7 p.m. I look forward to seeing you guys. You have a great evening. Good night.